Hi everybody, it's me again. Just going to talk a little bit today about some information that I got from my neurologist in the States when a couple years ago when I met with him. Try to be brief about this. It was kind of giving me some information about this new development they found that people with fibromyalgia have a higher level of a chemical called substance P. It is best way to describe it. I'll tell you what he said to me. If you stick your hand in a fire, your pain signals go from your hand to your brain and say, "That's hot. Move your hand." And so that process is a vital process in the brain to help you, stay away from dangerous things or painful things, injuries. And for normal people, that pain signal continues to loop just for a short period of time for what they call acute pain as opposed to chronic pain, so that lasts a long time. So the pain goes away when the hand heals from this fire. But what they found is that people with fibromyalgia have 10 times the amount of substance P in their spinal column, which is where it travels from, to the arm, up the spinal column into the brain, 10 times the amount of substance P than somebody who does not have fibromyalgia. So that kind of explained to me why it is that, a hangnail on my hand or a paper cut or a stubbed toe or, a toothache, whatever it is, a headache, is so painful. It feels like it's like a number 10 on a scale from 1 to 10, the worst pain you've ever felt. That's why. I always thought, my God, am I a baby or what? I mean, it cannot be this painful. Why am I feeling this much pain for something that's as simple as, a paper cut or a stubbed toe? And that explained it. It made me feel so much better. It made me think, well, wow, I guess I'm not just, cuckoo. And a lot of people feel that way, that they think, why am I having this much pain? I just don't get it. So your pain levels are exaggerated. But they're not, they're exaggerated for a medical reason. They're not, like, it's not in your head like you're just, thinking that you've just got the worst pain ever and you're just hypersensitive. It is actually a physical condition that you can't really do much about. To backtrack on what that's caused by is the nervous system. I talked about the nervous system before, and a nervous system disorder is, and what my doctor diagnosed me with, is an autonomic nervous system disorder, which basically is a malfunction of these things. That is the best description that I can give. It made so much sense to me. I hope that helps. You kind of understand that a little bit. As I said before, there's lots of theories on how fibromyalgia gets started. They believe that most people have a predisposition to have it, but it's triggered by a trauma or a really bad virus, meningitis or mono or things like that. Typically, though, people will say they remember after a traumatic event, a car accident or, a fall or a neck injury of any kind, that's when they started to feel that these changes happened and that they weren't feeling themselves again. And so that's when the chronic fatigue loop starts, where you feel as if, the number of times I've seen this written, that, you're fine, most of the day you're fine, and then all of a sudden you feel as if somebody just unplugged you, like you're an electronic appliance and somebody just went, unplugged you, and your battery is instantly drained and you just feel like you can't even, it's extreme exhaustion. People just have no clue when you say you're tired, you are beyond tired. And that loop continues. Another reason why that loop continues is they believe, this is another thing that this neurologist told me in the States, was that when you sleep, your pituitary gland produces a growth hormone, which repairs your muscles while you sleep. So if you've worked out or you've, run or you just working in the garden, so when you wake up, your muscles are repaired. The lactic acid that's built up in your muscles is diminished, and you may feel a little sore and achy for a couple of days. But with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, ME, you tend to have this loop that just doesn't never, you never repair. You're just constantly feeling like it's the worst workout you've ever had in your life, and all you did was, walk a couple of feet to the post office. And that's what they believe is the cause, that the pituitary gland is not producing enough growth hormone, or any, to repair your muscles. I started to see an endocrinologist, which is vital. You have to see an endocrinologist because they'll help you with determining whether or not there's a link to hypothyroidism, which is shown to be a link. There's just so much research and so much information. It's really good stuff. It's promising. There's no cure yet, but at least you understand what's caused it, and it's not all in your head. I think that that's one of the things that people are stressed out about the most, is that they just don't feel like they're understood, and people really dismiss what they have that's wrong with them. And I think by understanding what you have, helps you get to that next stage, to accepting it, and accepting that you're not the same person that you were before. You got this, and you never will be. And that's a real trauma. It really is. And I think that's probably the worst thing that I had to go through. But these little pieces of information that I got from this amazing doctor helped so much. His name was Dr. Blair Grubb, and if you look him up online, you'll see he's written so many papers on the nervous system disorders in general. He's a cardiologist as well, but that was a sideline. I had some kind of strange disorder where I would lose consciousness. It was called neurocardiogenic syncope, which I mentioned before. And it's where the blood pressure, your blood pressure doesn't regulate, and so your fingers get really tingly, and the blood is rushed from your head to, say, your guts after you've eaten or something, and then out you go. So I've cured that. I've been really, really great after some another doctor who turned me on to probiotics. I took probiotics that have absolutely almost 100% turned around my irritable bowel syndrome, which was really, really bad. So as anybody who's got it knows, it's horrendous cramping. You imagine the worst kind of food poisoning you've ever had, where your guts are just screaming, and that's every time you have to go to the bathroom, so it's not particularly pleasant. So my daughter found me on the floor in the bathroom many times after I've passed out. So I stopped about a year, two and a half years ago, maybe 3 years now. I started taking probiotics and in a tablet, and cured it. It's done. It's gone. I mean, and occasionally it'll flare up, but very rarely. And before, it was doing it every single time I had to go to the toilet. So my parents used to call it, I was pulling an Elvis, because Elvis had the same problem. He passed out on the toilet. Lovely. Anyway, that's the kind of thing that you get when you have fibromyalgia. So anyway, I'll give you an update later. I'm running out of time. Don't want to go too long. So hope to see you soon, and I'll give you some more information when it comes into my head. Thanks. Bye.